Following is the agenda for the regular Borough Council meeting of Borough of Hopkins, Mayor and Council Municipal Corporation in the County of Passaic. The meeting will begin at 7:30 p.m. on April 9th in the Municipal Building, 25 Lennox Avenue, Hopkins Lakes. Consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act, the meeting will be open for public comments and shall be in accordance with the terms and conditions of the borough's municipal code and bylaws.
Please stand for a flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bless this mayor and council as they deliberate on the best of Pompton Lakes. In conformance with the Open Public Meeting Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through notice posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, mailed or all requested and paid for same, and published in Suburban Trends. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sarah.
Here.
Council President Collier.
Here.
Councilman Cruz.
Here.
Councilman Hinton.
Here.
Councilwoman Penn.
Here.
Councilwoman Kilburg.
Here.
Councilman Jennings.
Here.
With us this evening is our Borough Attorney David Rutenberg and our Borough Administrator Michael Corral.
Thank you. Before we start, I'd like to do a proclamation for the Women's Club on behalf of them. But before I do that, I always like to shout out about the Women's Club. You guys are a great volunteer group in this town. You quietly do what you have to do. You don't make a big fanfare, and you have a lot of members out there working and doing what you're supposed to do. So I really appreciate, we all here appreciate what you do, and especially with all the gardening that I've seen recently, which the town loves to see. So thank you for that. Okay. Our children are our most valuable resource and will shape the future of the borough of Pompton Lakes. Childhood trauma can have long psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasted for victims of abuse. Whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce our limited risk and promote the social, emotional, and development well-being of our children, whereas communities make every effort to promote programs and activities that build strong children's and family, whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community in partnership to build awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a stable, nurturing environment. Whereas prevention remains the best defense of our children and families. Now, therefore, I, Michael Sarah, the mayor of Borough of Pompton Lakes, in the County of Passaic, New Jersey, do hereby proclaim April 25th as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the Borough of Pompton Lakes, and urge all our fellow residents to become involved in efforts at aiming and preventing our children from being abused. I'd ask all the Women's Club members, I know we have a bunch right here on the desk, to come up. Oh, you want to talk a little bit about the pinwheel? Somebody wants to say something? Get them all on the camera. Come on over. Maria, you want to say, or somebody wants to say something? About the, no, about the pinwheels.
Oh, no, Marilyn?
Go
ahead, Marilyn.
Okay, the new pinwheels, as you can see, have been all by the library and outside here, and it's to make everybody aware of preventing child abuse, which, as Mayor said, is very important. You have to start there, and so that's what we have to do.
And if you see the pinwheels, that's why it's there to remind us of what they're doing in this effort. Thank you all for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hang on, Mayor. Since Liz is up there, I'll take you.
Slide over, everybody slide over a little bit. I'm gonna get nice people here.
Oh, okay.
That's perfect. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Mr. Hinton's making a joke saying I was one of the taller people in the group. I don't appreciate that. Okay. Whenever you're ready, notice for the special budget.
Resolution 25-151, resolution ratifying, introducing, and authorizing the estimated annual budget in the amount of $339,100 for the calendar year 2025, January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, in the Thompson Lakes Community Partnership Business Improvement District.
Motion to introduce the special improvement district budget in the amount of $339,100 for the year 2025.
So moved. Oh, second.
Councilwoman Kilburg, Councilman Denon, roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Could I ask a question on that? I noticed in the paperwork on that, it said 330,000, and then it said 339,100.
Good question. I'm gonna let Mike answer that.
I would defer to the bid representative
Okay.
that's here, and I could assist if needed.
Sue, if you want to come up, do you know why there's a discrepancy?
I didn't bring a copy of it, can I see it?
They're highlighted, underlined.
If I may, to just
Sure.
make it easy, I guess.
Sure.
So the total budget of assessment income is projected to be 330,000. I believe that the bid has funds that were rolled over into this year,
Okay.
and that's why it's $339,100. It looks like there was a rollover of about $9,100, if I'm not mistaken. So
And
thank
you agree with that, Sue?
Yeah, we're, the 330 that we're getting from the taxes, I believe that's the number I've used from last year. It might be a little off depending on what was collected, but we haven't collected taxes a little bit, so, that was just a number that I put in. It's usually about that number. It could be off by a little bit, of what the income is. But our budget, yes, is 339,100, and we did definitely carry over from last year. The only other thing that I would correct is our budget doesn't go January to December. It goes April 1st through March 31st.
All right, so can we fix that on the,
I'm sorry, just say that again.
The budget goes April 1st through March 31st.
Okay.
okay, does that answer your questions?
Yes, it does.
Okay, it was up to you to vote.
Thank you very much. My vote, yes.
Councilwoman Henn.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilburg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori.
Yes.
Just for knowledge's sake, for people watching at home or in the audience, the bid is a tax collected on the business landlords that own the property. It does not come off the tax dollars of the residents here in town. It's a special tax put on only for owners of the buildings, sometimes passed on to the people that run the establishments. But that money is used by the bid tent to develop a lot of the programs you see in our town, and they do a great job in doing a lot of the programs that we put together. I will also offer that they have a meeting once a month. Anyone who owns a business in town who would like to show up and offer some assistance or advice or something they'd like to see happen, they would more than welcome you to come down to their meeting. Okay.
I have one more vote.
Go ahead.
Councilman Denon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why don't you tell me that before?
Well,
Okay.
interrupt you.
And now you get to read this too.
Please take notice that the budget for the Compton Lakes Business Improvement District was introduced by the governing body of the Borough of Compton Lakes, County of Passaic on April 9, 2025, and advertised in the Suburban Trends. A public hearing will be held at the municipal building on Wednesday, May 14th at 7:30 p.m., at which time and place objections to the Compton Lakes Business Improvement District budget for the year 2025 may be presented by taxpayers or other interested persons. Copies of the budget are available in the office of the Borough Clerk at the Municipal Building, 25 Lennox Avenue, between the hours of 9 and 4:30. Or you can use the borough's website, www.comptonlakes-nj.gov.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sue, for coming. Okay, can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
So moved.
Councilman Denon, Council President Polidori, or all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Mr. Buck?
In 2010,
No, just need your name and address first.
George Popov, 1104 Colfax Avenue, In 2010, 15 years ago, I alerted the borough that the storm drain pipe at 1102 Colfax Avenue, running from the street to the lake, has failed and is underwashing and eroding my property. I shared the pipe scoping and provided a copy of the robot's video recording through the pipe showing breaks, separations, and a significant washout hole at the separation between the concrete pipe and the collapsed, rusted-out galvanized pipe. This fact, warning, was ignored for several years, really right up to today. Several borough administrators examined 1102 and 1104 Colfax Avenue properties, but no action to remediate the damage was taken. The borough did not own, they did their own scoping, confirming the breaks, separations, and large washout at the former connection of the pipes. In November of 2023, after boring the hell out of this council, the borough administrator stated the borough was going to fix the pipe and pay for the repairs to the damage. I secured the topographical survey, the engineering plan by Hauser Engineering in June of 2024 and provided it to the borough with a preliminary estimate of the cost. I was requested to get bids from contractors who would actually do the work. The damage has occurred is due to 15 years of the borough ignoring the washout problem. It was known it could have been repaired or taken any action to minimize the damage, since the leaking and destroyed pipe was not on my property. 15 months ago, the borough went on record here in open forum. The borough will pay for the damage by the storm drain pipe. Last week, I was presented with a set amount of dollars and requested that I fix the damage, not the borough. I sincerely request the council and the borough to revisit the offer of less than 25% required to fix the damage caused by the pipe washout. Ignoring the problem for 15 years and now not fixing it completely is not the right step. Please step up to paying for the damage to my property. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll answer at the end. Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Please step up.
Ann Passanelli, 5 Lambert Street. I came in 2 meetings ago, and I made a complaint about a school bus parking on my street, Lambert Street. Officers did go the next day. I saw them talking to someone. Hadn't seen the bus there for these maybe 3-4 weeks, and today it appeared again. So it needs to be addressed. I also asked if there would be considered a or more than a officer to find a place on Wanacue Avenue to patrol or to watch the speeding buses, 18-wheelers, trucks, and cars that go down that street, not stopping for pedestrians, almost feeling as if you are able to get in and out of your car, you feel like you're going to get run over because that's how fast they're going. We need to, they come around and they ticket people for parking because their meter is expired. And you mean to tell me you never see, maybe he's not there to do anything else, but you got to see what's going on past you while you're there pulling money out of meters or ticketing cars. So I plead with you, we need safety on that street. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Step up.
Gardner Summit, 147 Summit Avenue, Pompton Lakes. So I was here last week and I complained that there was a car covered on Glen Court right by Councilman Kent's house, and it's been sitting there and we couldn't tell if it had an expired registration or not. I am happy to report, either through some efforts that were made here or somebody whispered to him, that the car has been moved to his driveway and there's no cover. So that's a positive. which is the only positive thing I'm going to say today. On my way driving over here, I want to know what the enforcement budget is and how you enforce the rules about parking trailers on properties, like a camper trailer. I've been passing one by for the last 2 months on the corner of Van and Pompton Avenue. And also, how do you enforce the overnight parking of commercial vehicles in residential neighborhoods? Now, we all know from my last time up here about a year ago about the rules. It's 10,000 pounds or less and 1 vehicle per house, but beyond that, you're not supposed to park commercial vehicles on the street overnight according to the borough regulations. I see frequently one or two overnight on Lincoln Avenue, and I just passed one. I couldn't tell if they were working or not on Rampo Avenue, but is there any enforcement at night? Because if you don't send out a patrol to go and look to enforce these rules, how can you tell if you're just enforcing it during the day? And then with regard to the improvements in town, last week I asked a question about whether the assessments are frozen when somebody receives a tax abatement over the period of the tax abatement, or whether the assessment goes up and consequently the taxes will go up as the percentage increases every year. And I was wondering if you had an answer for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public would like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Councilman Hinton, Council President Polidori, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, we'll start with Mr. Popoff. I agree with you, it's been a long process, but we have to give some credit to this administration and this council for making it move forward this quickly in the last year. We've done a lot of effort and put a lot of time and energy into what is being done over there. I can't speak to the numbers. Mike, I'll let you, if you want to say anything, speak to the numbers, but there's not much I can say about the numbers.
Thank you, Mayor. All I could say is at next council meeting, we'll have a bond ordinance for our annual capital plan. That project is included within the plan, and we're negotiating with the homeowner to see if we can lower the cost of their restoration to get it all within budget. And we remain committed to doing everything we can for the homeowner.
Thank you. Ms. Tassinelli, I'm glad to hear the school bus is gone, but then came back. So unfortunately, the same thing has to happen. You or me or the administration can call the police department and say the school bus is back. That's what has to happen. We did bring in your concerns to the police department. They handle how they put out patrols, but they were told that there were some residents concerned about speeding and U-turns and all those things downtown. We can't mandate to the police set up a station there. They could do that if they want, and I'm not saying they will or they won't, but they have to at least do upkeep on the complaint. And I think that we're looking at that, Michael, is that correct? We brought that to their attention? So we did bring that to their attention. Mr. Samet, we started with the good news. I'm glad to see the car is moved. The second part of that is we are a reactive department. We have a part-time inspector that's here from 3:30 to 6:30. If a resident has concern about a commercial car, about a car with a plate that's not on the street, any of those concerns, they have two places to call. They can call the building department, and then he will go out and look at it, or if it falls under the police department, some of those items fall under the police department, they will go look on it. Your question of do they patrol at night? The building department is not out patrolling our streets all day. We do not have a full-time person, and that's not going to happen. I would hope if our police department is driving down the street and they see something that's out of the whack, they maybe just write it down and bring it over to our building department and say, could you check this out for me? It looks a little weird, because sometimes they don't know if it's right or wrong. If I understand you correctly, there are built-in escalators within the pilot. So it's not a set flat fee. It changes from 10 to 12, and I don't know the numbers, but every couple of years there is an assessment change on the taxes built in. That's built into the pilot agreement when we signed it after 30 years. Okay. Motion to approve the following minutes. Regular meeting minutes, March 26th. Closed session meeting minutes, March 26th. Need a motion.
So moved.
Councilman Cruz?
Second.
Councilwoman Kilberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve bills and payment of bills as listed below. Can I have a motion? Councilman Brennan? Need a second?
Second.
Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Consent agenda, does anybody need anything removed?
Yes, 25-155 and 25-158.
158, okay. Okay, let's, those,
Um,
do you have something?
yeah, 156.
Okay.
Whereas the mayor and borough council of the Borough of Compton Lakes have reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Compton Lakes does desire to remove resolutions for individual action from that agenda. Now therefore be it resolved that the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. Resolution 25-153 to 25-161 with the removal of 25-155, 156, and 158.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Councilman Brennan, Councilman Hinton, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Resolution 25-155.
Award contract to Key Tech Laboratories for concrete core sampling and testing for Dawes Highway improvement.
I'm assuming that's with the county and we have to approve it, but I'll let.
Just curious as to what exactly is this core sampling they're talking
Of
about?
course. Thank you, Councilman. So the Dawes Highway Improvements Project, which is scheduled for April 14th to begin, for all NJDOT grant projects, core testing of all pavement jobs and concrete are required within 7 days after paving to verify thickness, air voids, and compaction levels. Attached is a proposal from a company that we use every time we get a DOT grant to do this required work.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna do all three and then we'll come back and vote. So, 25-156,
Amending Resolution 25-132, authorizing refund of outside lien block 9518, lot 8.
like, that's just a return of taxes?
Yeah, I was just curious as to what that was.
There was a clerical error on this resolution prior, and this is to redeem a lien on a residential property.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, 25-158.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, yeah, she was gonna read it.
Sorry.
Authorizing emergency temporary appropriation in the amount of $7,601.
Okay, go ahead.
As the governing body knows, we're still on the temporary budget. The municipal budget will be adopted at the next council meeting. Our funding for legal, the temporary budget, which funds 26.25% of last year's appropriations, we need more funding to carry us through to the budget adoption for this specific sub-account.
And it says other expenses also? What were those other?
It's just a label. It's for legal expenses.
You guys good with that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Liz, we'll do 25-155, 156, 158 together.
A motion?
Could I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Hinton, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, ordinances?
Final adoption. These ordinances have been posted. Ordinance 2515, an ordinance establishing the annual compensation for members of the Compton Lakes Municipal Utilities Authority.
Motion to open the meeting for public comments on ordinance 25-15.
Motion.
Councilman Brennan, President Polidori, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address just this ordinance? Seeing
I'm
no?
going to abstain.
What's that?
I'm abstaining.
Okay. Motion to close the meeting for public comments on ordinance 25-15.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Brennan, Councilman Hinton, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve ordinance 25-15 for final adoption.
Motion. Second.
Councilman Brennan, Councilman Cruz, roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Abstain.
Abstain. Councilwoman Hilber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori.
Yes.
Councilman Brennan.
Yes.
And ordinance 2516, an ordinance amending chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Pompton Lakes and revising the term of appointment of special police officers.
Motion to open the meeting for public comments on ordinance 25-16.
Motion.
Councilman Denon, Councilwoman Kilberg, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address just this ordinance? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Ordinance 25-16. Councilman Hinton,
Second.
Councilwoman Kent? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve ordinance 25-16 for final adoption.
Motion.
Council President Polidori, Councilman Denon, roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
Councilman Trent,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilburn.
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori.
Yes.
Councilman Denon.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, under my report, I'll start off with CTO Day, which is the Change of Officer Day. First, I'd like to thank our clerk and her staff for putting that all together. It's a lot of time and energy to get all those meetings and get the kids here on time and get us all here, so I thank her for that. Once again, it's always nice to see the kids come in with their ideas and the way they see things in the town. And they brought up some ideas that we were interested in, that came up. There was a little pressure because I had the granddaughter of the ex-mayor as the mayor in front of me, so that made it a little more difficult. But this was a very good bunch of kids, for a high school kid to get up here and talk in public and talk forward. They did a great job, all of them. So I give every kid credit that wants to come out and do it. But this group actually came in with some great ideas, so I thank them for all those things. I attended an Eagle ceremony for Alex Diaz. We have a very active Boy Scout troop in this area, more so than most troops that you can ever see. And they're doing probably 6 to 8 Eagle Scouts a year for the last 10 years. That's a lot of Eagle Scouts. So I give the Boy Scouts credit, I give the leaders credit, and of course the boys that are making all that hard work in Eagles, I give them credit. I did a couple weddings this week. We started our geese outering program again this year with Kevin McGrath as our leader. We've been out scouting areas looking for, they start to nest now kind of, and we'll start laying eggs soon. And I can tell you, we've been doing this now 15 years, and we've made a difference. I think Mr. Hinton can agree with me, because he's part of the team that does it, that we've seen a drop in the number of geese. So if any public has nesting geese that they see kind of pairing up right now, and making a little nest, you're more than welcome to reach out to our borough here, or you can reach out to me. We'll get you on the list. There's a very short window when we can do this addling. It's in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then after that, it's a done deal. We should all understand also, the more geese that are born here in Pompton Lakes, when they get older, they come back to Pompton Lakes, and then their offspring come back to Pompton Lakes. And that's how the geese population constantly builds, because they come back to where they were born. So we and this is a state-approved program. And we've been doing, we're one of the few towns been doing it so long, and I've seen a difference from it, so I thank everybody. Myself and a bunch of us attended the Little League Parade. It was always a little wet, long walk. I was lucky enough to jump on the back of an ATV after a while, because it's a long walk. But I thank the Little League for all they do, and all the parents and all the volunteers there. A lot of coaches, a lot of staff, a lot of kids. The fields looked great when we got down there. So the season has started, just like it's done for the last 60 years here in Pompton Lakes. And good luck to all those people. We had a finance meeting, and I had a personnel meeting, and that is my report. Council President Polidori.
Thank you. I want to thank all the students that came out for CTO Day as well. And for my report, I just have a couple questions and clarifications on some things I've seen online recently by way of newspaper articles that have been shared. There was an article that was shared regarding oh my goodness. There was an article that was shared regarding the property that we just approved at 60 Wanacue, and it stated that we had unanimously voted to allow the building to be constructed without any commercial space, but instead we had granted them the ability to put in retail space. And I'm not sure what that was referring to, but as far as I understand, we have no retail or office space.
There's no retail going in that.
There's no office space either, though, right?
No,
Because the
no
article
office,
stated
no
that we
retail.
approved it with office.
Unfortunately, the newspapers they did a bad job on that story.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that for anyone, because it did get a lot of attention online, I want to make sure that anyone that read it knew that it is going to be residential only. And then there was some conversation back and forth about the Civic Center, which has begun, construction has begun. Hopefully it's going to replace a building that was definitely in need of repair, but it was a reactive effort on part of the developer, not a proactive one on our end. They agreed to fix damage that was done after construction began. So perhaps with the new property that we've approved, we can be proactive this time. I know also in the last meeting, we discussed some improvements at Lakeside Park, one of it being an extension to the docking. We have an opportunity to be proactive with the developer agreement this time and see if there's any way to negotiate perhaps that 60 Wanacue Ave property, agree to offset the cost or pay for an expansion on that docking as part of what we've allowed them to build there. And those are my suggestions, and that is my report.
Just to clarify, that was worked into the agreement with the Meridian building, that's a building in the middle of town. They had to redo the Civic Center, so that was actually written into the agreement. The only thing we negotiated is a better deal than what we negotiated originally in getting a second story. But initially, they were going to do the whole building as is.
So I just want to, I'm asking you to clarify something you said, because I sat in the meeting with our former BA and the developer who they had sent on their behalf, and it was a negotiation that took place to fix what was damaged. It was, I sat in the meeting, so I know that it wasn't part of the original agreement. So if you have that written in the developer's agreement somewhere, can you provide it to me?
Did you provide that to her?
Showing what it was that was supposed to be put there for the Civic Center in advance of it having been repaired from being damaged.
Yep. And that is part of the agreement, yep. Okay, Councilman Cruz.
Thank you, Mayor. Just have a brief report from the Board of Education meeting they held last night. The Teacher of the Year Awards were held last night. I just want to congratulate Paul Smith, Pompton Lakes High School, Sarah Eldeeb for Lakeside, Deanne Martini for Lennox, this is her second time winning. For Lincoln, Suzanne Froud, this is also her second time winning. And this award, I'm not familiar with this award. I'm not sure if they're doing it for the first time this year. They started last year, but this is for Education Services Provider of the Year Award, and this was given to Kelly Baccio. I also want to congratulate Sophia Tortoso for being selected as the valedictorian this year for the school, and Michaela Horvath as salutatorian for this year as well. And that'll do it for my report.
Wow, they picked that, is that normally when they pick it, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're already going to be in there.
Yeah, that's great, okay. Councilman Hinton. You have a motion when you're ready.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to read is Lieutenant Kopacki to defer to the governing body on the decision to approve a street closing block party on a holiday weekend day.
You can read that, yeah.
You want to keep going?
Yep.
All right, motion to approve the request from Fiorella Pazzano and surrounding neighbors to host a block party celebrating Independence Day and a child's first birthday on Edwards Avenue between Riverdale Road and Waterville Ave. That will impact 5 homes. Activities to include music, food, games, and bounce houses. Bounce houses located on the property, not on public streets. On Saturday, July 5th, 2025, from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m., police, fire, first aid to be notified.
So the reason we're bringing it to the council's attention is because we don't normally do birthday parties for closing roads, but she did throw in the Independence Day part of it, so that's why Liz came to me and I said, let's bring it to the council and see how they feel about it. So I'll leave it up to you guys, whatever you want to do. I don't care either way, so.
Yeah.
Want to vote on it, or?
We're going to vote on it, but you can talk about it a little bit. I mean,
You need a second,
The
right?
street area is very contained, the lieutenant's.
I looked it up.
not
It's
like
a small
going to
street.
It's a smaller area, so, but it's.
It's more of a concern for the
I'll
neighbors.
second
Have the
that.
neighbors been notified? Is everybody comfortable? He says it's impacting.
Well,
He said they were.
That would be the big thing, I would
Right.
say.
I
to make
think
sure
the bigger
record is-
concern is, do we want to set a precedent that we're going to do it for birthday party? Now, she's doing both, so it's not just a birthday party, it is Independence Day, which is a celebration day. We just have to be careful that we're not setting a precedent that we're just going to do it for
We have
birthdays.
closed streets for birthday parties.
Well, they call them block parties, we don't close them for birthday parties, I mean, that's just a distinction. So I don't care how we want to announce it.
Well, she didn't even have to put in
Yeah,
birthday
that's
party
right, that's correct.
in there. She
So
could
if you're all good with
say
that, I'm
block party
fine
and
with it.
done with
I'm
it.
fine with
Yeah.
it.
All right, so.
And it's on a Saturday, it's between 1 in the afternoon and 4 p.m.
Do we have a second?
Like Liz said,
We did
it's
not.
a very short clock.
I'll second.
I personally don't see a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second.
I'll
you guess
second.
Councilwoman Kilberg, and then, let's do a roll call on it, Liz, just to be safe.
Councilman Cruz?
Yes. Excuse me, yes.
Councilman Kim?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hollywood?
Yes.
Councilman Bennett?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, for my report, I attended a seniors meeting, and now that we have our bid representative here, I can ask her directly. She wanted to leave. One of the seniors had asked, when bid bucks are sold, a lot of times, a lot of the seniors who don't drive are in the same car, and they just want to make sure that, usually they thought that it was only one set of bid bucks per vehicle. And they were asking if they can have, being a senior doesn't drive, if they could have 2 bid bucks, as long as it's separate check,
Yes, separate check.
and that's possible.
Separate person, separate check, yes.
Okay.
One per person.
So it's not necessarily one per vehicle.
No, we can go after that.
So if they have a separate check, yes, they can come together.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, also, the mayor had asked if the seniors wanted to stay in Riverdale
Oh, yeah.
or come to the new Civic Center when it's completed, and they prefer to go stay in Riverdale if that's possible.
Okay.
The parking is more convenient for them, handicapped, wheelchair is so much better for them to get in and out. It's just a better facility, so
Okay.
you can make that arrangement with the mayor of Riverdale.
Well,
They
let's
would,
talk to them, yep.
they would appreciate that.
Just won't say anything, just keep going there, that's what we'll do.
Do we know the mayor of Riverdale?
We'll figure it out.
Okay. Let's see, so I attended that seniors, attended a Zoom meeting on the Hirschfield Park bathhouse renovation. So hopefully that's gonna proceed the way that we want it to. Attended a CTO luncheon. Kids were very bright, very nice, and wish them a lot of luck. Let's see, then I attended another senior meeting, because we had 2 within that month. And another question brought up by the seniors was, one of the seniors' friends from Bergen County had the motor vehicle come to the senior meeting for real ID. So they were asking, and I talked to Michael about it, and if that vehicle can come to help the seniors with real ID, being there's a certain date that has to be completed by.
So it's funny, because my license is due for, and I was gonna get the real ID. You go on their webpage right now, every site in the state is not taking appointments. Every state in the whole state is not taking appointments. So, we, through the help of Assemblyman Weber, we did get the bus down here once or twice. We did reach out to him again, but I guess a lot of people are reaching out to him to try to get it for the same reason.
Right.
But I would have supported 100% if we could get it to come down here. So, Mike, I know we're working on it, we'll see if we can make that happen.
Thank you. We did look at that. We were informed that due to the Real ID rollout deadline, that it's at least a 6-month wait list
Yeah, it's a
to
while.
come to our community. But we did reach out to them.
Okay, so they can extend the deadline, or?
No.
Welcome to the state.
Well,
I'm not kidding, the whole state from top to bottom, there wasn't one appointment.
Wow.
At any time on any day.
well, okay. Well, if we can do the best we can for them, I would appreciate it. At our last meeting, we had a vote on Resolution 25-141. It was in regard to authorizing shared service agreement with the Township of Wayne regarding homes to be elevated, and I had brought that up. I was told by someone a long time ago, but it turned out not to be true, that the Township of Paquonic had an ordinance against buyouts. And I went and I talked to Kevin Nelson, who's the flood resilience officer. Do we have a flood resilience officer?
Sal Poli is ours.
Yeah. And he checked with the building department, and he verified that no, Paquonic does not have anything against buyout, or buyouts. But I'm still not happy with the 4 houses being taken down. So far from Kevin Boyle telling me we had 87 houses removed in the south end of town. And this is gonna make it 91. and pending, we still have 3 more that want to go. That make 94, round numbers, $10,000 a year property tax, which is on the low side. That's $910,000 a year we're losing, and on top of that, we have to maintain those lots. So I got an email from our administrator talking about the borough really can't control that. That's between FEMA, federal, and the state. But still thinking about it, we have to try to come up with some ideas. Whereas these people, it's their option to take the buyout. They take the money, the house is torn down, we have a vacant lot to maintain with no more property tax coming in, which is killing the town. So could we do something, come up with some ideas? My idea was if we can give an option to that flood victim who has repetitive loss, if we could give them a tax break for 10 years of half taxes.
We're not allowed to give tax breaks, unfortunately. Now, look, I agree with you 100%, and what really should be happening is the state should be stepping in and saying, we're going to compensate you over a sliding scale over a certain amount of years.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Right, that should happen, I agree with you.
If they can go for an elevation at half taxes for 10 years, and then pay three-quarters taxes for another 10 years, that might give them an incentive to stay in town.
I mean, it's something we can push with the legislation, Brent. That's what we have to do with that. We have to push it up the chain.
It's just, we need to come up with ideas so that the south end of town doesn't become just a forest.
Right.
And we lose that tax revenue.
But you gotta take, and I'm not sticking up for them, believe me, I'm not. But FEMA looks at it as, if I get the house off the record, it's less money I'm paying out in the long run.
We understand that, but when the house is elevated, it's not in a flood risk anymore.
Right, but then some of the seniors don't want to be elevated either because it's too high.
That's true, and I've heard that excuse already. Yeah. Then they sell the house, and a young couple buys it. The kids will run up and down the stairs. The young couples will run up and down the stairs. They have no problem. They want to be in Pumpkin Lake.
I would be willing to go talk with our assemblyman with you to bring it up.
Brian Burton, yeah.
I have no problem in trying to push that up the chain, you know.
But we have to come up, we just can't keep tearing houses down.
I know, but unfortunately, that's the way the laws are structured right now to do it, so we can't say no to that.
And I forgot to bring the circular in when you ran for office, and it said home elevations on it. You know, I know that you were for home elevation.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, we just can't keep tearing homes down.
Unfortunately, when FEMA makes an offer to someone, and it's a high offer, and they look at that number, and they say, well, if I wait 10 years from now and try to sell it on my own, I'm only getting half that, they're running with that offer. They're taking it and running.
So we're having one individual homeowner make a decision that'll affect the town forever.
It is unfortunate, but it is.
With us not even putting any input in.
Yep, that's true.
We have to work on something on this. That's my report, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Where am I? Councilwoman Kent.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I just want to address Councilman Hinton's question on that. I want to say back in 1995 or so, the Blue Acres program used to give the towns a percentage decrease every year. So if the taxes were, let's say, $10,000 at the time, then in year 9, there would be $9,500, and then year 8, they would be, $8,000, down to the year, and then after that, it was assumed that the towns would be able to collectively get over that loss of those property taxes that were being paid. They stopped that program because Blue Acres and Green Acres became very popular, and everybody wanted to get out of the flood area. So it was done. It was done, so there was precedent for it. And I'd love to see it done because that would help us, of course, would help all the other property owners. So, Mayor, if you are going to speak with them, just remind them that's how the program started. And I'd love to see that myself. I think it's a great idea, Councilman, and thank you. So tonight I would just like to thank the Mayor and Council for the kind words, Mayor, to the Women's Club and the members that came out. I want to thank you, ladies, for coming out tonight and taking the time to receive the proclamation for the Child Abuse Prevention Month. I know that they went out into the library and to the front of Borough Hall, and the pinwheels that I know I think Marilyn has, Jessica, the pinwheels look absolutely gorgeous when the sun hits the reflective pinwheel part of it, And with the daffodils in the back, it's stunning. So I want to thank you for your beautification of that program, and I know they spent a lot of time putting those in, and also planting the daffodils in the past. So I want to thank you very much for all of that. I also attended, as Mayor said, the Pumpkin Lakes Riverdale Little League parade. It's a great march. The kids have so much energy. It's really a thrill to be invited to be a part of that whole parade. For the second year, I threw the first softball pitch. They really have to train me on how to throw that ball better, I have to be honest with you. But it did go in the air this time. The fields were beautifully manicured. They were groomed, amazing, and I'm just very grateful that we have such amazing volunteers with the Little League, and actually all the athletic associations. So I was very happy to be a part of that. The snack stand was fully packed too, and they sold a lot of goodies on that one, so that was fun too.
Can I jump in 1 second?
Yes.
This is something for the older people in the audience. They no longer really take cash at the snack stand. Do you know what they take?
Oh, no.
Venmo.
No!
So the 8-year-olds come with their phones, and they Venmo what the cost is. They take very little cash now at the snack stands, which to me, I read a snack stand for many years, is a big deal to me. Wow, that's crazy. All right.
I didn't know that. That's funny. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mayor. So I also attended the CTO day, and again, the high school students were amazingly enthusiastic, and they do love this town. They had some great ideas about fields and about cleanliness, recycling, and I just want to thank them for coming out and doing that, and I want to thank the teachers, Mr. Patrick, who handles that every year, and he does a great job. I also attended a DPW meeting. I guess we're going to be talking about different solid waste collection pickups in the future. I just want to address the docking. The docking that is down in Lakeside Park is broken. We can't put the docks back in because they're totally warped and they're very dangerous. So tomorrow night at the open space meeting, I did last month ask the open space members to think about putting some money towards the dock so we can purchase them and get them in immediately, because if we have boats going out there and tying to the new docks that we have, they're going to wreck those. So we really do have to address that. And that would be, I believe, a $25,000 acquisition. Open space is only allowed to participate and apply 50% of that $25,000 because of the way the ordinance is written. So we're looking at $12,500 plus or minus a couple pennies. So we'll be coming back with a answer for you on that. I can't imagine them saying no, but that's up to them.
And then at the next meeting, we'll be voting.
We'll be voting on it, correct, thank you. I also met with the DPW new landscape gentleman, Mickey Gavin, and our clerk, Liz Bransness, and we're talking about possibly putting in new landscaping there. And it came up with a really great idea. One of the things that was brought to our attention was that there is a beautiful World War I monument that is being covered. So we're going to try to expose that, put a little like nice sitting garden around that, and then doing some improvements to the landscaping because the bushes are old, they're big, and new benches. So we got some new ideas.
It's the granite from the quarry.
Oh, it's the Pomptonite. So we're talking about that now, okay? And that is my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kilburg.
I also attended the Pompton Lakes Riverdale Little League Parade. It was a little wet and cold, but the kids had a great time and it was great exercise. I attended the CTO council meeting and the high school kids did an amazing job being us. It was fun. It was fun to watch and they had great ideas. The Flood Advisory Board is having a rain garden workshop that'll be held on April 22nd at the Pompton Reformed Church at 59 Hamburg Turnpike at 7 p.m. I attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting last night. On April 12th at
2 PM, there's an Easter egg hunt at Hurstfield Park. Rain date is April 13th. Please bring your own basket. May 3rd is Shred It Day. It's 8 AM to 11 AM until the truck is full. And May 10th is Bid Bucks from 10:30 to 1 in the high school parking lot. Checks only, $100 for $150 worth of Bid Bucks. And I didn't write it down, but I don't want anyone to forget that May 4th is the river cleanup. So
9:30?
9:30 to 1, so hopefully a lot of people come out.
I just want to add, I spoke with Karen today. It's not looking good that we're going to do the Easter egg hunt on Saturday because of the weather. We'll keep you posted. We're going to make a decision tomorrow night. The rain date would be Sunday, but now Sunday's not looking great either. So we're kind of up in the air a little bit of how we're going to do that. But just, if you're interested in going to that event, just keep an eye on social media and we'll have more information.
And that's my report.
Thank you. Councilman Bennett.
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended the Little League Parade. I want to thank the mayor for being there so I didn't have to throw out the first pitch. That's what I did last year, horrible job.
Well, so much better, but okay.
The CTO day, I want to give a shout out to my CTO counterpart, Michaela, for being the salutatorian, as Councilman Cruz reported. Alex Diaz, great job on your Eagle Scout project. He built the kiosk that's over by Lincoln Ave. And I also want to give a shout out to Haley Carroll, who has completed her Girl Scout Gold Award for a project along the trails as well. And speaking of Haley Carroll, she did a great job, as well as her peers, at the Addams Family musical performance at the Pompton Lakes High School. It was an amazing performance. Mr. Napa and Mrs. Napa did a great job directing and coordinating all of that. Lastly, I attended the Bike Walk Summit in Princeton. One of the goals is to make a more pedestrian-friendly community, and one of the things they talked about was grants that are available, but also there's a project called the East Coast Greenway, which is a path or a trail, for lack of a better term, that goes from Maine all the way down to Florida. Some of it's through like Jersey City and Pulaski Skyway. Others, it's more east of us, but there was conversation about connecting the Morris Canal Greenway, which we have a section of in our community, which would foster ecotourism. Ecotourism helps to generate income for local communities, fostering respect for nature. Ecotourism strives to create a balance between tourism development and environmental preservation. So there's conversations about connecting those trails to the main trail, potentially bringing income and tourism to Pompton Lakes. And that is my report.
Thank you. Dave, you have any report?
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing this evening.
Okay, Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Please be advised that the Dawes Highway Improvements Project, which consists of the resurfacing of Dawes Highway from Riverdale Boulevard to River Edge Drive, will begin on or about Monday, April 14th. The first 2 weeks will consist of stormwater management and drainage improvements, followed by an additional 4 weeks of concrete and curbing work. The milling and paving will occur during the month of May, and residents will be notified once the schedule has been finalized. The ADA curb ramp replacements project along Lakeside Ave from Ramapo Ave to Chain Court will begin on or about June 23rd. Again, I mentioned before, the capital plan has been finalized and will be listed on the next council meeting for introduction. No changes have been made since the budget was introduced. The Hirschfield Park Playground is scheduled to be taken down tomorrow at Hirschfield Park, and the installation of the new equipment will follow early next week. We've posted notices on social media and on our website for the public. The plans and specifications for the Willow Field Improvements Project are being finalized by the borough engineer, and we're expected to go out to public bid in the next 2 weeks for that. We will have a pre-construction meeting later this spring to discuss scheduling with the Little League, and we have been in contact with Passaic County about our pending grants. So that project is moving forward. At the last council meeting, Mrs. Shortway expressed concerns with the plywood at 223 Wanacue Ave. I worked with Sal Poli and the developer. We did have the plywood painted, on the front of the structure as recent as this past Tuesday. So that improvement has been made, which is a good improvement for the area. We've notified the developer to keep the area clean and safe, during construction. The Borough Shredding Day is on Saturday, May 3rd from 8 to 11 at the Pompton Lakes High School. And then lastly, I just wanted to thank the DPW crew. They did install 4 new bike racks along Wanacue Ave, which are a nice improvement. They were funded by the bid. And a meeting is scheduled with the bid and with our borough arborist to discuss pruning and replacing trees in the downtown. So we are looking at that, and we scheduled a meeting for that coming up. And then we are working with the bid. There was a trip and fall incident in front of Randy's Ice Cream Store, specific to the pavers and the tree grate, and we're working to fix that as soon as possible. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear we're going to work with the bid and the trees, because I do have some complaints from some of the businesses. Maybe we put the wrong trees in years ago, and I think one of them was actually in front of Ms. Testinelli's establishment. So if we can get a better view to the windows, that would help some of the storefronts, I think, so that's a good thing.
When is that meeting?
I can send you the information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, just to announce too, we are in the process of starting to rebed our parks and all our areas. It's going to take some time, but we'll get all new mulch down for all those parks. Any questions for the administration? Nope. Okay. Thank you. Can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
Motion.
Second. Councilman Benning, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? That's it. Step up.
Again, Gardner Summit, 147 Summit Avenue, Pompton Lakes. Now, when you responded about the parking, and I asked you about patrolling, parking on the street is a police matter. It is not a building maintenance and property maintenance issue. So when the patrols are out and they see a commercial truck there after 10 o'clock at night or late at night or early in the morning, then that should either get a warning or a ticket if it's parked overnight. So it's not your part-time or however money you're building your construction official, which, by the way, we clearly need a full-time construction official to drive around and take a look at and especially monitor the construction in town and the other properties. So that was one issue. And then getting back to the tax assessments, we understand that the percentage of the taxes goes up over time. It's in a schedule. But that's not the same issue as does the assessment go up. So a lot of times in these agreements with developers, the assessment stays frozen for the whole time. So I'd like to find out whether the assessment actually will increase or whether it stays frozen. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Councilman Hinton, Council President Polidori, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Yes, you are correct. Some of those are enforced by the police, and Mike will reach out, and who's my police representative? Is it you? Maybe you could reach out also and let them know. And I agree with you, if they see something, they should be writing a warning on that. But some of the other things would be like the size of a trailer, those things fall under the building department, even if it's in the street. So it's used by both groups. But the police matters, yes, we'll look into it. Mike, I'm going to reach out to you. Can you reach out to the pilot people to ask about that assessment question?
We'll have a response.
Okay, we'll have a response. Great, thank you. Okay. Privilege of the floor. Any privilege of the floor? Okay, we're going into closed session, Mike, or not?
Yes.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're going into closed session. I would like to remind everybody, the ball hall is closed next Friday, for Good Friday. And spring cleanup begins April 10th for your leaf and branch pickups. April 10th is when that's today, I think, right? Did it start today? Tomorrow. Okay, starting tomorrow, they'll start doing leaves and branches. Thank you. A motion to adjourn to closed session.
Second.
Second.
Liz?
You're open.
I'm open. Okay. In closed session, we discussed negotiations of insurance. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Who is that, Councilwoman, Council President Paul Gurley? Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, thanks, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.